Next slide. So the neurobiological implications is that, again, with exposure therapy, what you're dealing with is that it does not eliminate or replace previous association, but rather results in new learning that competes with the old information, and that this accounts for relapses after treatment. If you look at the next slide, the difference again between EMDR and CBT potentially in terms of the reconsolidation is that when EMDR was compared to an exposure-based therapy for those who had experienced a traumatic death and a loss of a loved one, you can see that the EMDR condition, they both ended up in the same place in terms of re-experiencing, for instance, although the EMDR was much quicker in terms of, significantly quicker in terms of getting to that decreased level of symptomology. The same thing with rumination. But you see the difference here in the third is the positive recall, in that when someone has experienced the death of a loved one who has had prolonged suffering, let's say, very often with complicated grief, the individual can only remember only has negative memories of the deceased. Every time they think of the deceased, they think of them in suffering. They think of what they should have done or could have done, all the guilt feelings that they have, but they're negative memories that are coming up when they try to remember the loved one. What we found is that with the processing of EMDR, and here you can see compared to the exposure condition, there was twice the amount of positive recall at the end of treatment as there was in the exposure condition. And this, again, may also point to the difference between extinction and reconsolidation, that the original memories that the person is dealing with in the exposure condition is still there. A new one is created to compete with it, but it's possible that having that original memory intact is actually competing with the ability to have the positive recall. Again, the next slide, the